Plagues in the past centuries. Plague of Athens left 100,000 affected.
The Antonine plague left 60 million dead.
During the plague of Cyprian, 5,000 lives were lost every day for a few years.
And the plague of Justinian took away 100 million people.
Smallpox devastated 1/3 of the entire population of Japan.
And malaria consumed more than 200 million lives and is still going strong.
The Black Death left 50 million people dead.
The COCOLIZTli epidemic affected 5 to 15 million people.
The Moscow plague took away 100,000 people.
And the Spanish flu affected 500 million and left 50 million dead.
The 100-year third pandemic took away 15 million lives.
The swine flu left 200,000 dead.
Ebola left 11,000 dead.
And HIV/AIDS affected 75 million people and killed 32 million people.
From the economic front, the Great Depression of 1929 devastated the US economy. 1/3 of all banks failed. Unemployment rose to 25% and homelessness increased. Housing prices plummeted 67%. International trade collapsed by 65%. And deflation soared above 10%. And now, coronavirus cases has left more than 51 million people dead. With every devastation, humanity learns a few lessons. Every devastation brings with it widespread lacunae in the social system. Fear, anxiety, and depression spread its dreaded tentacles. Ill health, death, and loss of hope are the worst things that could destabilize our minds. Loss of jobs and lack of an helping hand proves to be more fatal. When the God element, the angle of God, the last refuge is in question, when health workers' role is cumbersome, when science and media, the fourth estate, collude, when pandemonium is at its peak, humanity teaches us a few lessons. At face value, this virus, whatever may be the origin or reason, has wrecked all levels of society. The comfort zone has changed. Introvert behavior has swelled up. The poor, the migrant workers, the roadside dwellers, and stray animals are left in the lurch. The dead has to bury the dead. The conscience is seldom clear. What a shame to humanity. Shame on us. Yes, the virus is a bane.
From the beginning of the world, divisions have existed. All divisions stop for a period of time during a catastrophe. Today we see at least a 1% change in all of us, whether we are affected by the virus or not. Biblically, God was gracious to Sodom and Gomorrah. and saved the cities as long as they did not fall short of that 1%.
With every loss, with every confusion, comes clarity and a new source of hope. If humanity wakes up to this new call, right from the grassroots level to the higher echelons of society, then we are doing the will of God. New technological breakthroughs happened in the field of medicine, health, payment methods, and education. Of course, with every advantage, there is a disadvantage. Faith refused to take a back seat. In fact, it attained new heights. The 1% change was more conspicuous through the many charitable deeds by thousands and thousands of benevolent hearts. We find responsibility taking precedence over duty. Now, humanity declares peace and happiness to the less fortunate. From development to sustainable development, a global change is imperative and mandatory. A new age, a new face, a new God element in us is beckoning. Yes, COVID is a boon.
The pandemic has encouraged a healthy lifestyle, better hygiene standards, and an overall healthier outlook towards life. Families have come together and quality life decisions have been made. It has brought society together in a feeling of oneness to stand shoulder to shoulder in crisis. There is an increase in faith and appreciation for all frontline and medical workers. Pollution levels are at an all-time low, encouraging us to keep up the green momentum. Flexibility and innovation in the workforce has benefited all. Government-level corruption has been under steady decline.
The virus has affected global economic trends, impacting a country's momentum in the world stage. Financial and economic instabilities push the lower working class into the depths of poverty. There is a worldwide decline in mental health in the youth. Stay at home and quarantine orders have taken away the human experience. There has been a heavy ideological divide in society between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. COVID has killed over 1 million people worldwide till date.
My guess is that, well, when we look back 10 years from now, we will remember not just death and destruction wrought by the pandemic, but also many valuable lessons it taught us. So then, what are those lessons? The first lesson is the value of gratitude. During the pandemic, the gratitude list doubled and tripled in length because there was so much more to be grateful for every day. It wasn't a premium sports car or a fine watch or an Italian suit that we find ourselves grateful for. On the contrary, we are rather grateful for the simplest, the most basic things in life, like good health, a warm bed, food on the table, a roof over our head, and most of all, for the great gift of being amongst people who love us.
The second great lesson was about resilience. Each one of you is an inspiring example of resilience. For you, life changed overnight. In a very crucial year, schools closed, but you adapted quickly. You faced constraints, but you found creative solutions to overcome them. You learned how to study online. You gave your exams without physical proximity. You sent off your university applications. You pursued your post-educational goals. You used hard technology to sustain the softer aspects of life, such as friendships and camaraderie. Life turned upside down, but you did not let it keep you down.
The third great learning is that we began to recognize and appreciate how much our welfare depends on the welfare of others. When the crisis first struck, not many of us would have spared even a minute to think about how the pandemic could shatter our lives. The lives of the people who clean your homes, cook your food, sweep the roads, drive your cars, pick up your garbage, build your homes, look after your health and comfort. It was not until we saw those pictures of migrant families walking the highways in the hot summer without food, without water, that we had probably even thought of what it must be like to walk a mile in their shoes or barefoot. But after that, we should have realized that their departure made our lives and our work so much more difficult. It hit home to us that the poorest of the poor are the foundations on which our economic prosperity and the quality of life depends. Has Corona helped you care more? If yes, well, then you are safe. Dare to share.